traders, welcome to everybody. Thanks so much for joining this Capitalise AI webinar exclusive for FXCM traders. We really appreciate you taking time out to be here, so thank you. Before we get started, give me a quick yes in the chat box if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. And while we're going through this webinar, if something happens with the sound and you can't hear me, please let me know straight away in the chat box. So we'll just take a moment and just wait to get a few replies. David, let me know. John, let me know. Let's see who else. Anne, let me know. Let's see here. Russell, let me know. And we'll get moving on as soon as I get a few replies from you. Find the chat box there, guys. And you should be able to just type it in there. And while you're typing it in there, John, welcome. Thanks so much. While you're typing it in there, give me an idea of where you guys are in the world today. With that, John, thank you. Let's get a few more. John from Australia, Sydney, thanks so much for joining. And David, let me know that you can hear me. I'm going to go with John number 2 now. Please let me know that you can hear me. And a couple more. Okay. Yeah, perfect. John number 2, thank you so much. Okay, guys, I think everyone can hear me, can see my screen. So let's get into this. Let's make it interactive. So if you guys have any questions while we go through this webinar, feel free to pop them onto the chat. Awesome. So it looks like everyone can hear me and see my screen. So let's kick this off. My name is Josh, and I head up the customer success team here at Capitalise. Really excited to be here, and I'll be taking you through this webinar. So traders, today I'm going to show you how you can create, backtest, automate your trading strategies. I'm going to show you how you can test a strategy against real-time live tick data. You monitor the markets and set up smart notifications. We'll also try to optimize a strategy or two, and we're going to do all of this in freestyle text in everyday English. So let's go through to Capitalise. You can always log on through our website, capitalise.ai. You can just click on login. And you can log in that way. I've got the page open already, and here is the login page. If you forget your password, you can just click there. And if you don't have an account, you can sign up for free here. So let's go ahead and sign in. And okay, we got a few more traders coming in. Welcome, guys. You're just in time. We're just getting started, and we're going to look at how you can test and automate your trading strategies, backtest, test it against real-time data, and set up smart notifications. So here we are on the Capitalise AI interface, and the first page you'll see is our live examples page. I'm not going to go into this right now. I'm going to come back to this in a moment. Something to note here is in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our in-app chat, and you can, if you have any queries or questions, or you need help with creating strategies, you can send us a message here. This is the best place to get hold of us. If we move on to the left-hand menu bar here, you can navigate anywhere and everywhere on Capitalise. So we're going to go through all of these, but first we're going to go to create new strategy. This is the most important, and here you can create any strategy, whether you're wanting to backtest it or simulate it or even run live. And this is our wizard here, and this is where we're going to type in the strategy. You'll see at the top we have our timeline. Feel free to move back on the timeline. You'll see you'll be able to on our next on the exit strategy. So let's go with our first strategy. Let's create a first strategy, really easy. So let's create a strategy with price change. Let's go if EUR GBP price, let's say, changes by, let's say, negative 0.5%, let's say in 4 hours, then buy 1,000 EUR GBP. So we have our first strategy here. It's an entry strategy. It's only got one condition. All we're looking for is a price change in 4 hours. So if the Euro GBP changes by 0.5%, then we'll want to buy 1,000 units of Euro GBP. The moment you select an asset, you'll notice here at the bottom, you have a link to TradingView. And here you can get some reference, you can add indicators, change timeframes, and so on. So let's go ahead and select next. And here we're on the exit strategy. You can move back to the entry if you want. It's not going to raise anything in the exit. And here, let's go with a very simple exit for this strategy. We'll get into some more complicated ones a little bit later. So we can go close position at trailing stop of 0.25%. We're only going to use one condition for this, and here you can select whether you want it once or in loop. So once the strategy will enter, exit, and stop, and in loop, the moment it exits, it will start looking for a new entry. It will monitor the markets. As soon as the condition is met, it will enter, it will trigger a trade if it's running live or simulating. So let's click next here. And now we're on the confirmation page. You can name your strategy here. If you don't want to name it, we'll give it a name, but I'll just call it Euro GBP negative 0.5%. And you have your entry condition, your exit condition. You also have your entry actions. You can see it's a market order. You don't have to use market orders. We've got other orders that you can use, and I'll show you where you can find all of them a little later on. And then here is where you can test. So you have back test, which is going to test the strategy ex post on historical data. You have simulate, which is going to test the strategy using real-time live tick data. And then you have run live, which is also using live tick data. The only difference here is when your conditions are met, it's going to trigger a trade via your FXCM account. So for this strategy, let's go ahead and back test it. And a few things to note about our back test. This is our beta version. It's a test for 90 days previous, including weekends. Here, our backtest tests on 1 minute historical data. So it's looking back at the open, high, low, and close of each minute bar for the last 90 days, which is very different to your simulation and your live strategies, which is obviously using, as I said, live tick data updated multiple times a second. So, okay, so the backtest has finished running, and you can see here, let's go through this page because most of the strategy pages look very similar. So we have 3 hits. A hit is a cycle, an entry, and an exit, and each strategy needs to go through one cycle before starting the next. So you can't have multiple entries as of yet. It is something we're working on. Then you have your total P&L. Your total P&L is gross. It's exclusive of any trading fees and so on. Doesn't include any leverage in either or anything like that. You have run live, and here you have your control panel. I'm going to come back to the control panel in a moment. Let's just get through this page first. So we have our entry condition and your exit condition. And here you have the trade chart. So each of these bars represents a trade. So for example, if we move our mouse cursor over the third one, you can see this is hit 3. The return is 0.31, and the P&L is $3.69. You can also see the min P&L and the max P&L that the trade reached during the time it was active. If you want some more information on this trade, for example, what time did it happen, execution price, and so on, you could just come to the notification panel on the right-hand side. And here we have hit 3, which we were just looking at. You can see the entry was triggered on April 19th at 10:55 a.m. And the exit was triggered 2 days later at 3:54 a.m. You can also see the execution price of each trade. For example, the exit executed at 0.86199. And you can see the entry there as well. You can see the units that were executed. Then just below here, we have your winning and losing ratio, and you can see the amounts per loss and per win. And guys, you're very quiet there. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop them onto the chat. Great, so this is a, we've just run a back test. We can see how the strategy would have performed in the last 90 days, where the triggers would have happened, and so on. Let's say that for this example, we like this strategy. And let's say we want to simulate it against real-time live tick data. We could go to the control panel, and on the control panel, you can run live, you can edit the back test, you can clone, rerun, or get a shareable link. This time we're going to clone it because we want to simulate it. So we'll select clone. And clone is a simple copy and paste. It's going to bring the strategy up on the wizard. And we'll click next. And we're going to keep the same strategy as is. We're going to loop it. So as soon as one cycle finishes, the next starts. And we'll click next. And this time we're going to simulate. Great, perfect. So a few differences on the simulation page and the live page. Here you can see that it's live, it's loop, it's still waiting for its first hit. The total P&L is there. Here you can enter a total stop loss. So you could say, for example, if this strategy gets to minus $100, stop the strategy and you'll be notified of it. I'll show you where to set up your notifications. The main difference on this page, you can't see the notification panel on the right hand side because there's been no executions yet. You have your winning and losing ratio at 0-0 and your total hits, total P&L return at 0-0 because there are no trades. The only difference is here is we have widgets that monitor the current hits. So here this is working on entry. We only have one condition in the entry, and here it's monitoring. So we can see where the price is, we can see where the change has to get to, and when the needle reaches the blue mark or the blue line, the strategy will trigger an entry. So here the control panel is more important when you're simulating or when you're running live. Here you can stop and you can edit your strategies, and feel free to edit them while they're running. So this strategy will continue to run. Even if an entry were to happen at this stage, it would still go with the original entry. So let's say we just want to change that maybe to 0.3%. You can do this while it's running. It's not going to reset any data or anything like that. We can go to save changes, and then it will just update. You can also stop your strategies here, and when stopping is really important, select the preference you want to stop. So if you're running a strategy live, you can stop the strategy and close any open positions on your FXCM account. Alternatively, selection 2, you can stop the strategy and keep the positions open on your FXCM account. If you go with that, then the positions are your responsibility and you need to close them as you see or as you want. So we'll just select cancel there. Great. So that's a quick back test and that's a quick simulation. Let's go through here. Guys, while we're going through this, what asset class do you normally trade with? Is it currencies? Are you guys trading with CFDs, indices? Let me know on the chat which asset class you're normally trading with. Great, and let's move on and let's go through a couple other things before we start getting into some strategies. We're going to optimize some strategies. You want to hang around for this. So let's go here to the left-hand menu bar and click on Browse Examples. Great, so this is our Browse Examples page. And here you can get some inspiration. So all these, we don't share any trader strategies. All these strategies come from the team here at Capitalise. And you can search for stocks or Forex or index. John, currencies, okay. So, you know, you could search for Forex and let's say let's say you want to trade, you're interested in trading Euro USD, GBP USD, and let's say some support and resistance. And then you can get some strategies that come up here. And you can view the performance of these strategies. So you could just click here. This is the performance for the last 30 days. You can see the strategy pages look similar. You can see all the information on the right-hand side, each hit when it executed. You can see the hit chart and all the relevant information you need, 19 hits, 1.76%, and so on. Now, this is for the last 30 days. If you traders want to test, perhaps you like the strategy, but you want to test it for a little bit longer, or you want to simulate it, you could just go use as a template. And use as a template will just bring the exact strategy up onto the wizard. And all you have to do is enter the amount, for example, let's say 1,000 GBP USD. And we can click next. We just change that to real and click next. You'll see all three choices: backtest, simulate, and run live. And if you want to check it for another 60 days and see how the strategy traded, then you could just backtest this strategy. Great, I'm going to go back to the my examples page. So this is for some inspiration. Have a look. We're constantly loading up new strategies, and you can adjust it as you want. For example, when you bring a strategy up onto the wizard, any word that appears in bold can be changed at the click of the mouse. So you may like a strategy that's perhaps got a different currency pair than you want to trade with, or a different asset. You could just click on the currency pair and then change it to like Euro CAD, Euro CAD, and then just make sure to change all of them. And you'll see that you're only trading with one currency pair if you have only one link to trading view here. If you've got two, then you'll have two appearing here. Great. And then let's go to the My Strategies page before we create another strategy. So here you can see all your live strategies. You can see all your stop strategies, and you can see all your backtest strategies. So I've been running a few strategies at the moment. This one here, I'm just running off a simple support line on Tesla. Anytime the price crosses below 584, then buy one Tesla. And then I'm closing the position at a trailing stop of 2%. Also with Capitalise, you don't only have to use price action or volume, price action or indicators or economic news. You could use candlestick patterns. So let me show you this strategy right here. And I'll show you what we've described here. This is a simple reversal pattern that we've done with candlesticks. And the pattern is really this one here. We're just looking at a 3-candle reversal, and you can create these strategies with Capitalise fairly easy. I'm going to show you where you can find an article that walks you through this. And if you're looking for complicated candlestick pattern strategies, we're not going to go over it today. Be sure to join one of my webinars, my monthly webinars, where we go through this, or just get me in the chat and I'll walk you through creating your strategies. Great, so let's get on and let's go create some strategies. Let's try to optimize some strategies here. So I'm going to go back to create new strategies, and let's stick with currencies for now. And the next one will look at some CFDs with stocks. So let's go and let's use an indicator here. So let's say if GBP USD, let's say crosses below the lower Bollinger Band, and anytime you select an indicator on Capitalise, you'll be able to change the parameters at the top. So let's leave this let's do this at 15 minutes. Okay, just so we can try get a few hits here, and then we'll say of GBP USD, let's say buy 0.1%. So it doesn't have, the price of GBP USD doesn't only have to cross, it has to cross by at least 0.1%. Then buy, let's say 10,000 GBP USD. Or let's say, with Capitalise, you don't only have to work in units, you could work in worth. So you could say 10,000 USD worth of GBP USD. Okay, great. So let's go and close the position, and let's use two conditions for the close position. So you could go close position if profit per unit of GBP USD is, okay, let's start this off with 10 pips and see the results. Or if loss per unit of GBP USD is above 7 pips. Let's just try it with that, and we're going to optimize these strategies. Let's see if we can try get better results. So we're going with two conditions here in the exit. We got take profit and we got stop loss, and we're going to click next here, and let's go ahead and back test. And while you're back testing your strategies, you don't have to wait for the back test to finish. You could move on and create other strategies and then come back to these back tests later. So let's actually do that. Let's go and let's try different exits with this one. Let's see how each strategy plays out. So while this is running, I'm going to go to the control panel. I'm going to select clone. And that's going to bring this exact strategy up. And I'm going to leave the entry as is. Let's just change, let's say, let's double this, 20 pips. And let's go small here, 10 pips. Let's just see what comes out of it. And then let's back test. And while that's running, let's try another. And okay, let's try this one more, and then we'll actually just change the whole exit. So let's just see if we can, let's see what comes out of this. So if we give ourselves a bit more room, let's back test. And then let's do one more. So we've created 4 strategies here, all with different exits. Just to have a look at how let's change this completely, just to have a look at how they perform. So because we use the lower Bollinger Band in the entry, let's use the middle Bollinger Band as our exit. So let's say close position of GBP USD crosses above the middle BB. And I'll keep it at the same time frame. And let's go by 0.1% as well. And let's back test. And the best way, or the easiest way for you traders to see your strategies and how they performed, is to go to the My Strategies page and to click on back tests. And we can see them here. So these are the 4 we've just run with different exits. Here we had 10 pips, 7 pips, we got 69 hits. So it is a nice pool of trades there to have a look at how your strategy is performing. Here we've got 65 hits. Okay, so we've managed to go up there as well. GBP USD 30 pips, 59. Okay, we've gone up as well. So this is a great example of how you can optimize your strategies, find the best results, and just try different exits and different entries. The last one actually came back with fewer hits and about 0.6%. So you can test your strategies with different entries, with different exits, and it's quite easy. As I was doing there, you want to just clone the strategy and just change a few things that you need to. So that's how you'd optimize your strategies. let's have a look at, let's move on to it. Let's move on to some other strategies. And guys, you're being really quiet. If you have any questions, please pop them over to me. Let's make this as interactive as we can. So we've done some strategies on currency pairs here. Let's go on to, let's try run a strategy over a group of stocks. So that's a great way to optimize. Let's go run it over a group of stocks. So we can go to create new strategy. And, okay, let's use for this strategy a price fall. So let's say this, if Google, and we'll go price is below, you can use that signal, that sign, or you can just go is below, whatever you prefer. So if the price is below, let's say a 2-hour high. So a 2-hour high, you could write as 2 by 1 hour, 2 by 1 hour bar high. Or if you, firstly, if you write it like that, the calculation is made every hour on the new high. If you write it like that, or you could write it like this, 24 by 5 minute bar high, which means that the high is going to be calculated, or a new high, or the high of the previous 2 hours is going to be calculated every 5 minutes. So you're getting a really updated calculation on the high. So let's leave it there, and let's say buy at least 2%, then buy 1 Google. And we can click next here, and we'll go close position. Let's just use a trailing stop of 5%. And we'll click next here, and let's backtest. So all we're looking for is Google's price to drop from a 2-hour high by at least 2%, and then we want to trigger a trade. So we're going to click backtest here, and remember, while this is backtesting, you don't have to stay on this page. You can move and continue to create strategies, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to test this strategy over a group of assets, and then we'll go and have a look at the price. Sorry, at the results. So remember, any word that appears in bold, you can change with the click of a mouse. So we're going to change Google. Let's go for Apple. See what happens with Apple, and I'll click next, and we'll back test. And it, once you get the hang of it, it's really quick to, run a single strategy over 10 stocks in a couple of minutes. Here we'll just go Facebook, and we'll click next, and we'll back test, and let's do it over another one. I think it took us like 2 minutes to get through that, so we'll go here. Okay, so there's a strategy that we ran over 4 assets pretty quickly, within a couple of minutes. And I'm going to go to the My Strategies page to actually see how they performed and how they look over a group of assets. Okay, so these 4 that we tested are all tech stocks, and they've got very small pools to look at. The most is NVIDIA with 9 hits. That's 9 trades at almost 40%, 38.5. So this is an easy way for you traders to try different strategies on different assets. And then if you like what you're seeing, and you like these strategies, you could just start to simulate them, or if you just want to run lives. So we could go to clone, and we'll click next, and we can simulate this. And after testing it in real-time data, when you're happy, then you can go live with a strategy connected to your FXCM account. So great, traders. So we've been over creating a strategy. Oh, traders, if you have any strategies you want me to create in the session, you know, share. We got quite a few traders in here, so don't be shy. Like if you want to share your strategy and you'd like to see it back tested, pop it onto the chat so we can back test it. Great. So traders, let's move on. With Capitalise AI, before we get into economic data and creating some smart notifications, with Capitalise, you can cross-correlate indicators. So we just used a Bollinger Band there. You could actually use two indicators together. So you could say, let's go with NVIDIA, because that looked good. So we could say if NVIDIA RSI, and we'll go with the 14 1-hour close, crosses below NVIDIA. And here we'll just use another indicator. So we'll use an SRSI. And as with all your indicators, you can change the parameters at the top. And here, let's use a 1 hour. We're going to use a 1 hour with both of them. And close. We'll say then buy one NVDA. So we're using two different indicators crossing, and we'll click next here. And we'll go close position. Let's say, let's test it with the opposite. So we said crosses below. Let's close it when it crosses above and see what comes out of there. So we can go close position if NVIDIA, and we'll go RSI. We're going to use the same parameters as we were. John, we are going to record this webinar. Please don't drop off, though. We've got some more strategies to look at. Really important. Yes, we are. You will get a copy of the webinar, definitely. So we could go close position if NVIDIA crosses above NVDA, and we'll use the same SRSI, and we'll just have to change the 1 hour. And let's see how this back tests. So you can use different indicators and so on. And we're going to go into dynamic limits where you can actually base the entry price off indicators as well. So let's see how that tests, and let's actually test it while we're doing this. Let's try optimize, and let's test it with a totally different close position. So close position if, or let's just say a trailing stop of 5%. Let's see what comes out of there and back test. And after this, I'm going to go to the My Strategies page. Okay, great. And I'm going to go to the back test. Okay, let's see how they came out. So, okay, they're both looking good, but we could probably try it with you know, with different exits. You can use anything for your exit. So whether it's an indicator or price action, even eco data you could use, and we're going to get into that in a moment as well. So traders, that's a cool way for you to backtest your strategies, you know, and then find which ones you feel are working, and then put them against, you know, simulate them, put them against real-time live tick data. Great. So let's get into smart notifications. So with Capitalise AI, you don't only have to backtest or even trigger trades via Capitalise AI. You can set up smart notifications, and let's do some real world hypotheticals here. So let's just go to, where was it? Euro GBP, there we are. So let's look at Euro GBP. So perhaps, you know, I don't know what, Okay, so John, John's asking, can you see a strategy on a chart? John, I take it you're meaning on a price chart. Not at the moment. Traders, this is something that is frequently requested, and we're already looking into development of it, but as of yet, no. The easiest way is to, for instance, go to the strategies, and for instance, this one, get your RSI up and your SI up, and go to the 19th of May, and you'll check that it's crossed there. And if you've got a strategy, even with 30 hits, if you're randomly checking, let's say 3, that should be enough to show you that the strategy is triggering when it should. Great question there, John. So let's go back to the Euro GBP, and some traders are trading with indicators, some traders are buying and holding. Whatever the case is, whatever your needs are in trading, you can do through Capitalise. So for instance, if we're looking at the Euro GBP here, let me actually reset this, it's looking a bit funny. Okay, that looks better. So if we're looking at the Euro GBP chart here, we can see some nice support and resistance here, hypotheticals, of course. And let's say you want to know, you're interested in the Euro GBP when it hits these levels, but you're not sure about what you want to do. You want to watch the market and see what's going to happen. So you can set up smart notifications here, and it's quite easy with Capitalise. So let's say we'll set up a smart notification at 0.85, somewhere around there. Yeah, 0.85 is fine. So we can go to the wizard, and we can just start the strategy off with notify me if EUR GBP crosses below, and we said 0.85. You can use notification strategies with you can use notification with any strategies. It doesn't have to be support and resistance. So here we want to be notified of when it crosses below, and we'll click next. And with the notification strategy, there's no exit. I'll just name it here GBP below 0.85 and simulate. And the moment this strategy at the moment this condition is met, you'll be notified via email, you'll be notified on your mobile if you've downloaded our mobile app. And please do download our mobile app. We have all the functionality you have on the web interface on the mobile app. So you can set up these smart notifications really quickly. Let's just go maybe find another one and see if we can set up some others. So let's go to, where are we gonna go? Let's find Apple, see if we've got anything there. Okay, there's a spot somewhere around here. You may want to know if you're following Apple, maybe 120. So you could just go to Capitalise, go to create new strategy, and you could just go notify me if Apple crosses below 120, and set up that smart notification. So you can use these smart notifications to stay in touch with what's happening in the market. Not everyone can watch the markets all times, and if you have assets that you generally like to trade, and there are certain points, or when a Bollinger Band is doing something, or a moving average, or an RSI, you could set up a smart notification for that as well. Great, so that's notifications. You could also turn, as I was saying, turn any strategy into a notification. So we could go to our back test, and let's say, okay, we like this strategy here. We could turn this into a notification quite easily. We could go to clone, and we'll just take away the buy one NVIDIA to then, oh, I just got rid of everything. Let me go back and redo this one. So we'll go back to my back test. Okay, and then we want to notify us of this one. It's at 7 hits for 40%. So this may be of interest. We want to notify if that happens. We don't want to take action. So you could just go put in the strategy and then go then notify me and set up the smart notification for yourself. So when these strategies are triggered, then when these conditions are met, then you'll be notified of it via email and so on. Great. So guys, we're running out of time. We need to get moving. Let's just go through a few more things on the left-hand menu bar. Here we have our support, our resource center. You can find a lot of articles here. So if you traders are looking for types of orders that are offered at Capitalise, you could just go to types of orders you know, you'll find a few articles there. If you're interested in candlestick patterns and creating candlestick patterns, you can just type in candlestick patterns, and this article will walk you through it. Again, if there's something you're not sure of or you need some help on it, just get us on the in-app chat here. Let's get back to our left-hand menu bar. Here at the bottom are your settings, and you can adjust the time zone. I'm on Eastern time on my platform. You can enable 2FA and you can set up notifications. You can see that none of my notifications are actually set up. The reason is because I downloaded our mobile app and I just get notifications on the app. It's so much easier. So you can set it up there. Also, once you've set up your Capitalise AI account and you want to connect your FXCM account, you can just connect here, connect your account. It's a simple form you fill out just with your account number, name, email address, and then it usually takes 1 to 3 days for the account to be connected. So you can do all of that through settings, and again, as I said, you can download our mobile app, full functionality, and you'll have notifications there as well. Great, guys. Any questions? Had very few this webinar. Any questions you have about Capitalise? Any strategies that you're looking to create that you're okay to share, that you want to create? Send them to me. Let's see. Mick, can I? Okay, good question here from Mick. Can I adjust the back testing period? Okay, so Mick, this is frequently requested. This is something that we're looking at already. However, the short answer is no. For our beta version, it's defaulted to 90 days and it can't be changed. So yeah, we're working on it, and we'll keep everyone up to date with all the new features that are being released and so on. Let's see some others coming in. Yeah. Heather. Okay, so Heather, no, we don't. Heather's asking, do you share user strategies? So no, we don't. We don't share user strategies. All the live examples here are from the team at Capitalise. However, if you want to see users that are posting strategies, you can join our Discord group. So once you join Capitalise, you'll get a link to Discord, and there the traders are sharing strategies and you can get an idea of what people are doing, but we don't share user strategies. Great question there. Let's see here. Jack, can I? Oh, great question. Okay, Jack. Jack's asking, can I run a single strategy over a group of assets? So, great questions, guys. Thanks for these. Jack, at the moment, no. It's something we're also looking at, and that's why I was cloning. So the easiest way for you to run it over a group of assets, I know it's a little bit painful, but for the moment, it's the easiest, is to actually do what I was doing here, where I was just cloning the strategy. And let's just try it with this, for example. I was just cloning the strategy, and you can change the asset here. So I don't know. What do you guys think we should go for here? Let's try JD. Let's see what happens. So this is the easiest way to change it. It takes a couple of seconds, next, and then just back test and keep going on keep going on to the next strategy. So that's the easiest way to run it over a group of assets for the moment. And we'll go back to the My Strategies page. Great, guys. So keep those questions coming in. Great. We've got one more before we get moving. Abby. Okay, Abby's asking, how can I condition in pips? So if you're conditioning on Capitalise and pips, you need to use profit per unit. So let's just go by 1,000 EUR GBP. We'll just go like that. And then here, Abby, if you're wanting to close the position with pips, you can go if profit per unit is 10 pips. Okay, so you could just use this sentence, profit per unit, if profit per unit, and you'll be able to condition in pips. John, is there a risk calculator on your platform as your account goes up? John, can you elaborate on that question, please? Wonderful. So while we've got, let's see what else. So we've gone through most or almost everything that I wanted to show you. Oh, actually, no. We've got two more. Wow, that almost slipped my mind. So with Capitalise, we've done some price action. We've done indicators. You can also use economic news. So you could say, and let's just make this a notification strategy. So you could say, notify me if, let's say the NFP, the US job number results are above forecast by at least let's say 20%, and if the EUR USD let's say is above the current month high by less than 2%. So with Capitalise, you can include economic data, eco data. You can use job numbers, manufacturing, anything you can find on an economic calendar. You can create strategies on Capitalise with that as well. So feel free to. Last thing that you can also do on Capitalise, you can execute trades directly from Capitalise. So, you know, if you're out and about and you've only got your mobile and you hear, I don't know, something going on with Apple and you just want to execute a trade, you could just get onto the Capitalise AI platform and just go buy 10 Apple. Oh, let me get my syntax right here. Buy 10 Apple, and we could click next, and then under the next, you could just actually skip the exit. So if you go next and run live, it's going to execute a trade on your FXCM account. You could also close the strategy. So just in your entry, you could just put sell 10 Apple US. And if you skip the exits, it will close the strategy. Sorry, it will execute the strategy, which is a sell, which would have closed your original position. Great, guys. I'm actually at the end of this. This has been awesome. Let me know what you think about this webinar in the chats. A lot of you traders have been quiet. Let me know if you've enjoyed this webinar, and let me know if you have any last questions here that you know, you'd like me to answer. Yeah, and if you have a question or you want to create a strategy and you're not comfortable with sharing it, that's fine. Just get us on the in-app chat and we'll help you create this your strategy. Let's see. Wayne, can I use company earnings in my strategy? Awesome question. Not as of yet. So company earnings, at the moment, you can't condition. It is on the way though. Yeah, but at the moment, not. Let's see else. Yeah. Juan, let's see. Juan, you'll need to type your question out again. I don't understand it. Thanks. And let's see, guys, we got some. Keep sending me some questions. We're going to end the webinar in a moment. I hope you guys feel comfortable with Capitalise and sign up for Capitalise. You can just come to our website and create a Capitalise AI account for FXCM. You can start this research analysis. And then eventually, when you get comfortable, you can automate your trading. Okay, Juan, so multiple entries. No, so each strategy needs to go through one cycle. Let me just get a strategy up here. So here you can see, for example, here with this strategy here, we have 28 hits. So that's an entry and an exit before it starts looking for the next cycle. So at the moment, you can't have partial closes or a scaling strategy. It is a frequently requested feature, and this is something we're also eyeing. But at the moment, no, you can't have multiple entries. And when you've only got an entry, for example, buy 10 Facebook, let's say, when you've got only a single entry, you can't loop the strategy either. So you won't be able to actually, create those multiple orders and then just stop the strategy. It is something that we're looking at as well. So traders, I think we're at the end of the session. Thanks so much for joining. I was really excited to be here, and please get us on the in-app chat if you have any questions. And for myself and the team here at Capitalise AI and FXCM, thanks so much for joining, and hope to see you soon on chat. Thanks, guys.